The World Laureates Summit is sitting in Dubai alongside the World Government Summit, marking a historic integration of science and government. The gathering features high-level forums and dialogue on artificial intelligence, biotechnology, quantum science, energy, climate and emerging technologies. This three-day summit is expected to discuss the roadmap for the future of basic science. At least 100 scientists, including Nobel laureates, winners of major global scientific prizes, and leaders of research institutions are attending the meeting. So to discuss this further, we're joined by Cameroonian mathematician Professor Abdon Atangana. He is attending the summit and will be delivering a keynote speech there. Professor Atangana, thank you for joining us. How are you on this Monday?
Thank you very much. I'm very well, Asana.
We appreciate you making time to talk to us. And let's start here first. I mean, as we say in our introduction, this gathering will be a historic one as it blends the World Laureates Summit. It's coinciding, rather, with that, the World Governments Summit. Why is it important for this integration within the field of science? And maybe that could be a way of you giving us more background on this gathering.
Yes, it is very important because on one side, we have people that are doing science coming out with a new formula, innovation. And on the other hand, we have people that are taking decisions. So it's important for us to gather and stay together so that we should explain how we can take the world forward by using the knowledge that we are producing as scientists, discussing it with the government so that the government can take important decisions. So that is the reason why we are here. And on the other hand, as African person, I'm here to see what other people are doing to take their continent forward. And as a mathematician, I can also listen to people that are doing chemistry and to see what problem they have in their field and to see how I can come in to solve those problems. So that is the reason why we are here.
What are some of the current development challenges the gathering will seek to address? And I imagine there's quite a lot of discussions and topics that will be covered.
Yes, one of the topic is the emergence of artificial intelligence. How are we going to use artificial intelligence to better our research? On my side as a mathematician, sometimes it takes us 2 or 3, 4 days to prove a theorem. Now with the artificial intelligence, we are able to prove those theorems in a few minutes. How are we, what are we going to do to make sure that the next generation should not misuse artificial intelligence? So those are the things that we are discussing here. We are also discussing how it is possible for researchers from all over the world to work together in interdisciplinary platform. So that is the reason why we are here, and those are the discussions that we are having. Education, like this morning, the president of Macedonia was talking about education, and one of my questions that I asked is, what is the role of education in making sure that the world see equality among human beings? Somebody from Africa should also see at the same level like somebody coming from Europe, discrimination. So those are the things that we are trying to discuss here.
As we said, you're going to be making one of the keynote addresses there, and particularly at the Youth or the Young Scientists Forum. So what will your focus be there?
Applied mathematics, let me give you the reason why I'm here. I'm here, first of all, because I'm one of the young World Fellow of World Academy of Science, and also I got a UNESCO award. And the reason why they invited me is because I have introduced a new concept that will change all mathematics. In particular, the concept of distance that was introduced many years ago. I have redefined it because the mathematics that we are using is rigid, is based on Euclidean geometry. And I introduced a new geometry that is going to be used to explain the fact that a mathematical figure can burn, a mathematical figure can change the form, what we call in mathematics transformation, what we call in mathematics deformation. So this is going to affect partial differential equation. It means that What people are going to use to model real world problem will change. People are going to, what we call trigonometry is going to change. So that is what I'm coming to present the world and tell the world that Africa is present. Because we are in a summit with many people, only one representative from Africa. And so that is the reason why I'm here, and tell the rest of Africa that we should work extremely very hard so that when there is a summit like this, we should have more than 10 people coming from our continent. So thank you. That is the reason why I'm here.
How are our young scientists doing on the African continent, and what role does science have as a responsibility to be the foundation for their way of shaping their global future?
Yeah, can I say that we are doing well? I cannot say that we are doing well because there are many talents in Africa. As you can see, I'm here. I'm not here because I was supported. I'm here because I work hard, extremely very hard, every day, with the aim not to become #1 in the world in mathematics, but with the aim to say to the next generation, Africa will be present. So we are trying to do well, but we lack support from our government. So when you discuss with young people coming from other parts of the world, they will tell you, for example, I have a lab with 20 people working under me. I have this budget per year, but me, I don't have anything. I work by faith. I work trusting God. So it is important for African people to redirect their focus in science. You will see that most of the time what we put priority on is football. When they speak about football, everybody is excited. But football cannot change our continent. Sport cannot change our continent. So we need to refocus our direction to science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Fund young people to understand that the future is not only on entertainment, the future is on STEM. You will see countries like China, you will never see them speaking about football team, but you will always understand that they have discovered something new. Why are they discovering something new? It's because the government is putting more effort in science rather than sport.
Right, it's 15 minutes past 8 Central African time here on Rise and Shine, and you are still listening to Channel Africa, of course, still in conversation with Cameroonian mathematician Professor Abdon Atangana. He's attending the World Laureates Summit, which is sitting in Dubai alongside the World Government Summit, and this an integration of science and government. This gathering there's about 100 scientists in attendance, there including Nobel laureates, winners of major global scientific prizes, and leaders of research institutions who are attending the meeting. So, Professor, you touched on some of the challenges faced then by our young African researchers, and we'll talk in terms of how can we tackle those. But let's talk about the opportunities that science and technology has brought forward in terms of how it informs governance and economic systems, especially in Africa. What has progress done there, in your view?
It is a technical question. As a mathematician, it is a very technical question. But I can say, for example, in South Africa, the government of South Africa has tried to do something, putting in place what we call national research fund, and we can see progress in terms of the project that the project that they are try to fund, and I think that we should continue putting more effort and making sure that priority should be focused on science.
So let's go back then to the challenges faced by our African researchers and scientists. You mentioned one of them as being government does not really support the STEM subjects in terms of those who are out in the field and need to start work. What can be done around that issue?
No, it is very simple. I was in China. I was invited to participate in a very big congress in China. And I saw the government was talking about core science. You will notice that nowadays people don't put more effort in funding mathematics, in funding chemistry, core chemistry. People believe that it is important to only fund a topic that, for example, something that will give us solution of tomorrow, which is wrong. You know, everything starts from the core science, how to formulate a formula, how to formulate a structure, chemical structure. So everything starts from there. And other countries are doing the same. They put a lot of money there. So most of the time in our country, what they say is that, what is the importance of mathematics? Whereas mathematics is the engine of everything. You cannot become a good chemist, a good doing geology or whatever without having some background in mathematics. So I think that as China is doing now, putting more focus on core science, science, the government in Africa should continue or start putting more focus on core science so that when their people will acquire that knowledge in pure mathematics, then they will be able to apply it and create new technology.
We know that the world faces a lot of instability and uncertainty around, rising development as well, and uncertainty on that. But therein also lie opportunities, specifically within the science fraternity, to transform and turn these challenges into positives. So in what ways would you say that these particular opportunities can be created? You cite the example of China there in a few points. Should we be looking to China again to turn the challenges in terms of our transformation in governance, the uncertainty and instability the world sees, into opportunities?
No, we should not look at China. Africa should not be people that consume what other people have done. Africa have to look at their own problem, put together people that are able to solve those problems, discuss with the government such that, we will be able to solve our problem using our own skill, using our own solution, because we produce also knowledge, although we produce 1% of the knowledge in the world, although being one of the largest continents. So I think that Africa should not look at China, Africa should not look at the United States, Africa should not look at Europe, Africa should look at Africa. What problem do we have in our continent? Who is able to solve that problem? Whether it's from Morocco, whether it's from Cameroon, whether it's from South Africa, we put him on the table so that we should solve that problem with the help of the government.
So as we look to Africa then for our own solutions within our continent, global cooperation is also something that will be important. I know you mentioned that one of those things that you are glad to have been in the gathering for is to be a representation for Africa, and we need more representation in gatherings such as these. But what is required in your view in terms of global collaboration to ensure that real change is brought about through the field of science?
Let me tell you something. When we talk about global collaboration, you must first start putting something on the table in your own house. When you have that thing, you will be able to present it to other people. We cannot start going to global, to speak about global collaboration when we are not able to produce knowledge. What is going to happen? We are going to be there as kids to listen to what people have achieved or have introduced. It is better for us to start putting more effort to construct our scientific ecosystem in Africa. When we have then become very strong, we will be able to discuss with other people. Of course, what I'm saying here is I'm not saying that we should not collaborate now, but I'm saying that we should put more effort so that the problem Chinese solve in their country is suitable for their country. We should be able to solve the problem that are suitable for Africa. Then we will then be able to discuss with the rest of the world about how we can, they can use our solution in their place, and we also use their solution in our place.
Professor, please stay with us. We're going to take a short break. We continue our conversation after this with Professor Abdon Atangana, who is a Cameroonian mathematician.
Call us on +27 63 406 9126.
I can see my whole world changing.
And contribute to the conversation. 60 years of Channel Africa, your trusted voice, your African perspective into the future.
Ukatili wa kijinsia unaharibu maisha na kutenga jamii. Hutokea nyumbani, shuleni, kazini na mara nyingi kwa ukimya. Lakini hauwezi kuendelea. Ukiona, ongea. Ikiwa unaumia, funguka, kwa sababu kutofanya lolote sio chaguo. Sikiliza vituo vyote 19 vya redio kuanzia Jumatano ya tarehe 23 Julai kwenye mijadala, ushauri, tamthilia, maonyesho ya elimu na mahojiano na wataalamu, manusura, watunga sheria na nchi nzima iliyoathirika na ukatili wa kijinsia kwenye vituo vyako pendwa vya redio. Piga simu 0800 428 ili kuripoti unyanyasaji au kupata msaada. GBV ikomeshwe na wewe. Ujumbe huu umeletwa kwenu na shirika la SABC.
Wake up to the essence of the continent. Rise and shine on Channel Africa.
On Rise and Shine, we continue our conversation with Professor Abdon Atangana, who is a Cameroonian mathematician. He's attending the World Laureates Summit in Dubai, and this is in coinciding with the World Governments Summit, and it's an integration there of science and government with 100 scientists in attendance, including Nobel laureates, winners of major global scientific prizes, and leaders of research institutions. As you can imagine, there'll be a lot of forums held there in dialogue around the fields of science that will be touching on artificial intelligence, biotechnology, quantum science, energy, climate, and emerging technology. So the professor will be delivering a keynote address there. We did touch a little bit on what his focus will be as he speaks to the Young Scientists Forum. But Professor, and thank you for staying with us. But let's continue then on this point because we were mentioning the opportunities that can arise from some of the challenges that we see and that science can spearhead in terms of turning those challenges into opportunities. Emerging technologies, let's talk about those. How can they be developed in a responsible manner?
Yeah, emerging technology, this morning, no, yesterday we were discussing about artificial intelligence. And we were asking ourselves the question, how can we use it actually to improve our technology, to make sure that we introduce new things that will make our environment very good. And as a mathematician, what we do in mathematics is to produce new knowledge, to introduce new formula that can be used to be transformed and then model things that happen in the reality. So mathematicians need to use this new tool that is artificial intelligence to create new model, new formula that are adapted to the reality that we have today. So we were discussing about it in physics, in chemistry also. I saw several professors were talking that they were saying that they are using artificial intelligence now to come out with a new structure in chemistry, how to deal with cancer, for example, how to deal with pollution, for example. So I think that the big problem that we are facing with this artificial intelligence is that some people, it can also hallucinate. That means that if you don't have knowledge in the field, you will be able to produce maybe results that are not correct. So I think that a regulation in this for artificial intelligence should be done so that we teach our younger one how to use artificial intelligence, what is the limit, and where the human being come in. And how can we use it actually, to enhance our environment?
What will it take then for those regulations to become a reality? So that collaboration between governance and the fields of science and researchers, but also in ensuring that there is still some kind of independence for the scientists themselves to carry the work out the way they need to.
No, let me tell you something, Asanda. The problem we have in the world is that I'm not saying that politicians are not very intellectual. Politicians have to listen to scientists because I'm the one who created the mathematics. I'm the one who is creating the formula. And I will tell the politician how that formula can be used, how that formula can be taught to a younger one. The same thing with people that are doing chemistry. So we have to sit on the table between academic and politician, and we tell them what is supposed to be done for the regulation to be perfect for our world.
In terms of the future then, let's touch on some of the topics that will be covered. Things like quantum science, energy and climate. And we know that our continent is quite heavy on agricultural production, agricultural activity. How can these be integrated into that field to make sure that we do find ourselves in the top maybe 5? I don't know how far in the future that can get us. And we're competing with countries like Germany and the US and China when it comes to our agriculture space. So how do we harness quantum science, energy and climate?
I don't like to speak about a topic that I'm not good on. This is a topic that is a little bit far from my area of expertise, but I think that if there are African people that are specialized in this topic, especially African Academy of Science, I think that the government should actually consider African Academy of Science to put this discussion on the table so that we bring scientists from this field and we discuss about this particular issue, so that we should not be always as the spirit of paternalism, where the European people tell us, you have to do like this for your agriculture, you have to do like this for your agriculture. They don't know the reality of our soil. They don't know the reality of our ecosystem. So it is up to African people that are doing agriculture to sit and come out with the plan, so that we should be not the last continent, but at least among the 2 or 3 first to compete.
Your closing remarks then, Professor, just before we let you go.
The closing remark is the following. We are here more than 100 scientists. I think that I'm the only representative from Africa. And that is a wake call for African people. Some people were telling me yesterday, congratulations, Professor, you are there to represent them. I told them that no, I am disappointed on myself, because for 100 people, we are supposed to see at least 20 African scholars that represent the continent, not a young boy like me. So I'm calling on African researchers to work extremely very hard, very hard, so that this narrative should change, so that Africa should not be considered as a singularity, but Africa should be considered as a continent that contributes in terms of science, innovation, technology, and mathematics. And I call on the government to put more effort in empowering young African people, not to think that to become TikTok specialist is important, or footballer, or a star, something like that, but to make sure that African people become scientists, get Nobel Prize, get Turing Prize, so that we should also be able, the next Laureate Summit, we should be able to be represented, 20 of us. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it again, Professor. And do have safe travels when you do come back home, or when the summit is done. But in the meantime, enjoy your stay there in Dubai.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Abdon Atangana is attending the World Laureates Summit. That's alongside the World Government Summit. It's taking place in Dubai. It's a 3-day summit expected to discuss the roadmap for the future of basic science, and scientists having been there or joining it, about 100 of them. And Professor Atangana is also going to be delivering a keynote speech there at the summit, but on the particular gathering of the Young Scientists Forum. 8:30 Central African Time it is. Let's get our news headlines. Here is Chandugo Likeke.
We are